Hey guys, it's just no one here. Are you dissatisfied with the vampire lord? Or maybe just want a little something more for your werewolves? Something to enhance their power or just the overall gameplay and experience? Well, I got a couple mods I want to show you guys. First, I'm going to show you guys the names and the little pictures so it's easier for you to find them whenever you go into the mod selection. It's only a couple mods apiece for the werewolves and the vampires. First, we have Werewolf Perks Expanded. It's going to add some perks to your werewolf, and a lot of them are honestly some pretty amazing perks. Then we have Toggable Werewolf Form. This is going to allow you to switch to a werewolf and back again at will, and as many times as you want. It's also going to extend how long your werewolf transformation is, so you ain't gotta feed as much to stay in your form. Then we have Vampires and Magic. This, guys, is like the end-all be-all for vampire, like, overhaul. It literally does about anything I could really think of for a vampire. Some of it I didn't even think of. There's only a few things that I really just desperately need to change for vampires in order to make them playable. Reverse stages of vampirism, that was one, because it was kind of silly to me that the more I starved, the more powers I got. Yeah, that's weird. The only power you really gain from starving is the vampire's hypnosis, which really is just vampire seduction. So, you actually gotta stay fed in order to keep your power going. And if you don't stay fed, you actually lose your benefits of like frost resistance, your fire weakness gets higher, and your raised servant spell actually gets weaker, and your drain health spell gets weaker. Pretty much all your stuff gets weaker the more you starve. So you have more motivation and reason to stay fed rather than for some reason fucking starve yourself. It also allows you to wear hoods or helmets like Serana, and it actually will make it to where you ain't got to deal with the sun. It doesn't stop your health regeneration, it doesn't cut down any of your attributes. You literally just get to run around in the daylight as long as you have a helmet or a hood on. Cool thing about that is, if a mod has the correct keywords for the helmet or hood that you're wearing, then they can still apply. So that's pretty cool. It does a lot to your Vampire Lord perk tree, which we're going to go over all this stuff, so I need to cut that out. Then you have humanoid vampires. This is going to make your vampire look a lot better by not making them have to have the weird red vertical line down their mouth. They don't get wrinkly. They don't get that weird crazy nose if they're like an elf or an orc or something. The only thing that your vampires will have to show that they're a vampire is maybe a slight skin change, and they get a gaunt face, and they get the vampire eyes. That's all. So they don't turn into this hideous, disgusting, ugly thing just because they're a vampire. This will work with most vampires in the world, but most wild vampires, they'll still generally look like the regular vampires. But I consider it, they must be starving or something, so that's why they look so hideous. I don't know. Just use your imagination for that. Then I did encounter a bit of a problem with this mod relating to Castle Valakar. Some of the lesser characters that don't really have any importance, so it's not really that big of a deal to me, because you don't actually have to like talk to them. You can walk up to them and click on them, but half the time they just mean, so fuck them. There's no reason you really need to talk to them. Otherwise, you don't notice that their faces are kind of off. Like, I encountered one guy, his face was like, you could see his jaw move through his face. It was weird. Then like two of them, I didn't notice anything like that, but when they talk, their mouths didn't even move. So that's a little weird, but just don't talk to those guys. There's not really any real reason. They're most likely just going to insult you or tell you to basically fuck off. So that's the only error I've had with this. It doesn't have any error with your character. It doesn't mess up any of the main vampires that you have to talk to. That all seems to be golden. So I give a thumbs up to this mod. And if you're going to use the humanoid vampires and vampires and magic together, you should put humanoid vampires above this, because if you put it below this, for some reason it will make your vampire eyes be normal eyes. But if that's something that you really wanted, like you really wanted your vampire to look almost 100% human besides a gaunt face, then go ahead and put this right below vampires and magic. Same thing with the toggleable werewolf form and the werewolf perks expanded. Make sure you put toggleable werewolf form below werewolf perks expanded. Otherwise, toggleable werewolf form just completely doesn't work at all. So yeah, that is how they should work in your load order if you wish to use these mods that I am showcasing to you today. Wait, it's tonight, but you know what I mean. So, I haven't put anything into my character's stats besides a Magicka. So, we're going to transform into a werewolf. Of course, Magicka didn't get any buff, but I got a 150 buff for my health and a 200 buff for my stamina, just by being in my werewolf form. You're going to notice the vanilla perks are still here. That's supposed to be, because this mod doesn't take away any vanilla perks, it just adds extensions like this. Beast nature. You have become one with the beast blood. In human form, you have increased stamina regeneration, increased unarmed damage, and all power attacks cost 10% less stamina. Then you have full moon rising. When the moons are high in the sky from 8 PM to 5 AM, you have 150 extra health in beast form and 75 in human form. Basically, when it says moons in the sky, it just means nighttime. You don't specifically gotta have moons in the sky. So, yeah. Then you have Satiated Beast. Feeding when your kill satisfies the beast within you, granting you a well-rested bonus for a short time. So now, you can actually get the well-rested bonus as a werewolf. And it will carry over into your human form, which is the main thing you're really going to want this for anyways. But before, you couldn't get it at all because the beast blood prevented you. So now you actually have a way to get around that. I feel like that honestly fixes two of the only drawbacks to the werewolf now, is that you can transform whenever you want due to the toggleable werewolf mod, and with this mod it adds the perk to where you can gain a well-rested bonus. I mean, with that alone, you have already made the werewolf like perfect. But there's also the human form things, which are a really nice touch. I like having added benefits to the human form for your werewolves, since they do have beast blood in them. They're not just a normal human anymore. And there are several other perks here that increase stamina, health, ignore armor, can swing at all enemies in front of you like the two-handed perk can. You get more armor and resistance to magic. You got more abilities to the totems, which for those that don't know, these totem powers, they are in vanilla, but like these extensions, well, that's not an extension, but this, and this are all extensions of totem powers. Well, actually, except this one. I can show you how this one, yeah, I'll have to show you an example of this. So, the Totem of Terror, you can get the perk, but you're not going to actually see higher level creatures like giants, for instance, will run away from your Howl of Terror if you have the Totem of Howl of Terror. Then you have the Totem of the Hunt, which is basically a see-through walls kind of like type thing, if I'm not mistaken. And then an extension of that is a slow time thing, basically like a slow time shout. But as you can see, it says the second word, just like this says the second word. You're probably wondering what the hell that means. I could show you an example of what the second word is for this. This also isn't actually attached to the Werewolf Howl of Terror, but I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, then you have this, which will actually boost the health, stamina, and unarmed damage of like your werewolves and ice wolves that you summon with the Totem of the Brotherhood. So yeah, again, that's not really going to have much use to you unless you have the Totem of the Brotherhood active. And this one you gotta have the Totem of the Hunt to have the Hunter's Instinct active. And to make this work, you gotta have Totem of Terror. But you don't have to have Totem of Terror to actually use Feral Rage. As long as you have this perk and you're a werewolf, you have access to this ability. Because all this is as shown here. I will show you. See, that's just your regular how you just tap R1, how it is in vanilla. Makes everyone run away in terror. Well, most people and creatures. You then hold it slightly, you'll hear a hissing sound, and you'll notice this kind of like awkward animation you're about to see here. And now you can see the visual and the kind of bloody effect on the werewolf. It's literally Berserker Rage for orcs for your werewolf. It works exactly the same, just add it onto your werewolf. You can also do this as infinite many times as you like. So you can kind of have a constant Berserker Rage effect, where you do like double damage and resist twice damage. Or resist like half damage, yeah. So that's pretty fucking cool. Definitely is gonna make your werewolf pretty fucking powerful. And then with the toggleable werewolf form, the reason why you had to have it, excuse me, the reason why you had to have it below the werewolf perks expanded is due to those second word things. That way you can still access what we just did there, as well as the other powers that you get with the Totem of the Hunts and Brotherhood. But if you hold down R1 just a little bit longer beyond that, or hold it down until you transform back to human, and I can go right back into beast form, and then I can go right back into human form at will. It's literally like the Vampire Lord now. I can do it whenever I please. It's like a true lichen. Just to show you too, we're gonna go to nighttime to show you that the human form effects are working. So as it is now the appropriate time of night, I have 75 extra health in my human form, as it said I should. And this doesn't matter if you're at night, but still show you. It doesn't say the 10% off stamina cost anywhere, but I imagine it's still there. It's just like a hidden buff kind of thing. And even if it's not there, you have 50% stamina rate increase and an unarmed damage increased by 40. Fucking Khajiit, man. I can just win any brawl with one punch probably. And you still have your immune to disease and you're 50% resistant to poison. And as you can see here, where I have feasted recently just to make sure that this worked, I've been testing it all out. I've been making sure that everything is at least working as far as I can tell. And that perk you get for feeding on people, giving you a well rested bonus, it does in fact work, as you can see here. So yeah, those are just two perks, well, two mods you can add together, and just a couple mods that will definitely enhance your werewolf playthrough. Now we can go on to our vampire lord. Which this mod will change things for your regular vampires, but if you really want the full effects, you might as well be a vampire lord. Alright. Same thing as before here. I've leveled up 5 because I had to get Serana and everything in order to get Vampire Lord. But I only put it in my Magicka. I was at 140 Magicka. Now I'm at 240 due to a buff that I will show you in the Vampire Lord perk tree. Just like the werewolf now, you have some buffs in your human form too that you can get from perk trees. Now I have 100 to my Magicka, 100 to my health, and 100 to my stamina. That's why it's green, and that's how much it's buffed me. Due to the perks from the Vampire Lord. I'll jump over here and show these real quick too. So you will get Champion of the Night and Nightwalker's Footsteps, which will increase your illusion cost, or your illusion power by 25%, and you are 25% harder to detect. And that's like given to you just even as a base vampire. That's just natural to you now. This is a weird thing it does. I don't know why it says race high elf, and it does a lot more than 50 extra health. I don't know what's up with that. That might just be a restriction thing or just a weird typo thing. But as you've seen, I am actually being buffed in 100 by my Magicka health and stamina. It's all being buffed by 100, so I of course have resist disease. I had the 50% resistant to frost, 100% resistant to poison. You can also breathe underwater now, and you still have your 20% weakness to fire. You also have your vampiric drain, which is increased drastically. Again, whether you're a vampire or a vampire lord, like it doesn't matter which you are, you will have this increased power and all these like abilities that I'm showing, besides the buffs that we're going to get from the perks from being a vampire lord. Yeah, Vampire Servant, which allows you to summon a very powerful dead body and make it your servant for 1 day. So it really buffed your Raise Dead spell. And your weakness will get higher the more you starve, and your resistances will get lower the more you starve. Your Nightwalker's Footsteps and your Champion of Night don't go down, don't worry about those. They stay the same even if you're starving. Then Vampire Servant will actually turn, like once you're like starving really bad, I know it gets down to like a weak dead body, and it's only for like an hour. So your powers and your resistances and everything will lower or raise, depending if it's a weakness or resistance, depending on your starving. So you actually got to stay more fed. You will get Vampire's Hypnosis once you've starved a little bit, or actually quite a lot, really. Because I'm pretty sure what that's meant for is once you've starved to a point of everyone attacking you, it's kind of hard for you to get your meal and to get back to full strength again. So you need to be able to just calm somebody down and, of course, have the ability to feed on them just point blank right there. So you'll still have that ability. It's just been changed by the name, but it still pretty much works the same. And alright, I guess Vampire Lord time. Show you the attribute buffs from what we were earlier. So it looks like my health actually is the same. And my stamina. Well, that's a bit strange. Hold on, I'm gonna check that real quick. You guys can rewind the video, but I have to actually look and make sure I'm not crazy. I've had a few beers in me, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Cool. I was really wondering. I'm like, wait, something's not right here. That seems like it should be more. Alright, okay, so yeah, I got 100 in my health. I think 50 in my stamina. Or did I get 50? Okay, never mind. You guys can see it. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna bother. Now this is a typo. Like, that is completely wrong. I know I'm at least getting 100 in my Magicka stamina and health. And I know, like, even in my base form, I'm getting 100 Magicka health and stamina buff. As I shown you guys, that's completely wrong there. It's not that it's not working, it's just not working like as it says, but it's higher than what it says, actually. You have quite a few new powers. A little addition to this is that now in your basic form, you got like more melee combat. Even though it doesn't like say it, pretty sure it's just like a hidden bonus thing. You don't really see it in your effects or anything. Let's see, what's some powers? Yeah, Unearthly Will. When you get the full ranking to Unearthly Will, you'll have 50% less cost to your blood magic and night powers. Not sure how it works with night powers, but blood magic still pretty good. Then your blood magic is also 20% more powerful when you have the full rank of Blood Infinity. You have another spell there, it looks like. Then you have Sanguine Strength, which will increase your Vampire Lord Claws, which is nice because just having 20 poison damage didn't make those Vampire Claws even at all compared to the Werewolf Lord. Like, it didn't even pale in comparison. It was shit. You really had no choice but to just fly around and blast people with magic, and it wasn't even that great. Like, at least they buffed the magic too. So yeah, you have your 20 points of poison damage. That's normal. But now in your basic form, you have 15 points of unarmed damage. And then you also have the 20 increased damage for your claws, so you're doing a good bit more damage with your claws, plus you have the added benefit of hitting people a little bit harder in your normal form. This is one of my favorite perks. The first one just makes your Vampire Lord invulnerable to fall damage, but the second one gives you a 50% additional stamina regeneration. I read that wrong, but yeah, you get extra stamina regeneration. And your human form is also now resistant to falling, which really what it means is now your Vampire Lord and your human vampire form both can jump off fucking anything and not die. It's incredible. It's the same. Okay, yeah, this is a new addition to it. So, through your experience as a Lord, your skin naturally hardens, making your magic resistance increase by 25%. So now you have more magic resistance. You have this power here, which is another new power you have, which basically is like a shield. As it says, it blocks 200 points of physical and magical damage. It's kind of weird. It looks like a wind, like, shield thing. It's not like a ward like I thought it would be. I'm a little bit like off by it, but I guess because it's supposed to be kinetic, it would. I don't know. I thought it would be a ward, but yeah. I'll show you this real quick, and then I'll actually show you these powers in action, or at least show you what they look like and everything. So, Frost Affinity has 2 ranks. This is actually 2 different powers in this. The first one is basically a Frost Whirlwind like spell, which I'll show you. And then the second one is actually like a Mage Armor spell. And as it tells you, the armor rating is improved by the Mage Armor perk that you get with alteration in your normal like human vampire form. So if you level up your alteration, you get the Mage Armor perk, it actually will stack with your Vampire Lord's spell. So that's pretty cool. So, alright, let's see. I'm not going to go bothering with the vanilla spells and night powers, because you already know those. And something to note too, the Gargoyle, it has actually been upgraded to like a different variant. It's not as weak as they used to be. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, Pestilence. This basically is a Spriggan power, but it's actually really powerful. Like, no joke, this really is pretty good. As you can see though, it's basically the Spriggan's power. It's got the same look, same noise, but it is powerful. Kinetic Shield. Yeah, this is the one where I thought it would be a ward, but it's really like a weird wind effect around you. But it does block 200 points of physical and magic damage. You have Kinetic Push, which I'll summon a gargoyle to test that on. I want to hit my horse. You have Kinetic Push. Basically, this is like a unrelenting force shout. This is literally what it is, honestly. We have Frozen Mist, which is the Whirlwind Frost spell. But it does a pretty significant amount of damage, to be honest. Frozen Flesh is the Mage Armor spell we talked about. You can see it's got that same kind of glowy effect. And Blood Ritual, this is I guess more of a situational type attack. Well, not attack. It's more of like a, I guess, supposed to help you, but it's very situational. What it does is it allows you to turn health into magicka. I just show you. I don't got magicka missing, but it did take my health. It would replenish my magicka otherwise. So, yeah. Very situational attack, or spell. But yeah, that's pretty much the new additions and the noteworthy things. Something you might notice too with your blood magic abilities, whenever you have the Frozen Flesh active, that weird like windy effect for some reason shows up. I guess because you're supposed to have Frozen Flesh. I don't know. Just in case you're wondering, like when you're playing, you're like, what the hell's that? That's just something that happens when you activate Mage Armor. Well, essentially, what is Mage Armor? Now I want to show you that the benefits of the hood and helmet actually do work. Go ahead and wait till the daytime so the sun will boil my blood. Yep. Yep. we burning. So health and magicka and stamina do not recover while in sunlight and are reduced by 15 points. Well, that sucks. Pretty sure that also gets worse the more you starve. So yeah, that's another thing that gets worse the more you starve. But it ain't too bad whenever you're fully fed. But it still sucks. So we want to stop that. Boom. Helmet. And it's gone. We take it off though. And we're right back to boiling sunlight again. So that actually works. You have helmets and hoods that will actually protect you. So you can run around in broad daylight as a vampire and not have to worry about those pesky sunlight debuffs. Well, considering I feel like this video's went on long enough and my buzzed ass has been stuttering and slurring and probably just making an ass of myself, so I hope you find these mods useful. I hope you find them at all. I made this mod video very recently, so you should be able to find them. And then probably make some more videos sometime. So till then, peace out. Bye.